begins as coal that is refined and changed over time into a precious jewel. The NDP presents the jewel that is St. Vincent and the Grenadines, as we highlight some of the ways that we have polished and refined our precious nation over these years for the benefit of all our people. Our first mission was to satisfy basic needs, the things people needed most.
I was born up here, and when I began to walk as far as I can know, the road was a dirt road. We did not have, and when the rain fall and that dirt used to have some big holes in it. Things like the roads improved under the NDP government, the lights improved under the NDP government, and the water also improved under the NDP government. All over there, we see those houses over there was just forest. Nobody didn't have time to live over there. Nevertheless, now all over there is light, and everybody can see what we had given under the NDP.
I born in Rocky 59 years ago. Rocky would just have a 4-foot track. People to skate down on the bottom to get down. Government gave us road, gave us street lights, gave us light. Didn't have light at the time, gave us light. See some wall break down in cement wall, they build it back up. They build back wall to keep up people's lands. I see some people have my sister special, she couldn't come down at all. They build a road right to she house. And many others, road right to the home. Marklin land, it just was there. They put street lights in there. They gave them water.
I have seen they put a road from Green Hill to Sharps. I have seen they build us a hard court where we can play football, cricket, and various games. I have seen they had placed a library in Green Hill. I have seen they give us new pole that we can get extension with people that couldn't get light in the various places higher in Green Hill. I have seen they place us with new pipelines that people in Green Hill that didn't have water used to have to go at the bath to catch water to drink. They get water and they are satisfied with what they get. And I have seen they fix a lot of various roads, even the road from Green Hill to Fenton to go over to Gourmet, even over Daphne. You can even go at Belay. You can even reach from that road even to Vela. I have seen the NDP government has done a lot in this village for us.
I've been living up in New Montrose for all my life. While I was growing up as a little girl, I remember we had no lights, no roads, no pipe-borne water to our home. And I could remember my grandmother said to me, Hudson Tannis said, up here was undeveloped, we could not get road, we could not get water to our home because it would take all the money out of the treasury. It would take a helicopter to bring the materials up here. But today, I could say the NDP government has showed us that all the money did not come out of the treasury. The helicopter did not bring up the materials up here. Montrose could brag and boast. We have light, we have water. If you take a look on your left, you can see we have the multipurpose center over there. If you take a closer look down on my right, you could see downtown. Well, don't talk about in the night at downtown. It looks like little New York. If you take a closer look over now on my right again, you will see there goes the cruise ship board. Don't talk about when the tourist ship is in, and you just take that closer look. You could brag and boast. There's anything more that the NDP government could do or they did not do? Come on, Vincentians.
I have seen a lot of developments in Otley Hall because when I was there was no lighting facilities, no water, no proper roads, not even a public bath for the people to bathe. And under the NDP government and a youth group that was formed, Otley Hall Development Committee, we strive very hard to get proper facilities for those people around at Otley Hall. We have got water, road, light, and a public bath for the people to bathe and a standpipe, and have seen a lot of improvement.
The Otley Hall community bath was constructed in the 90s early, but we was on some 9 by 27, 9 by 28. Right now we have 40 feet by 32 with four rooms for men. 4 rooms for men and 3 rooms for women. We have 7 wings, 7 tops, infrastructure, pipe-borne water, fresh water.
Well, in the early days, I could really see we wasn't getting nowhere at all because we could not come out to go. But now in this present government, we get road, we get light, we get everything we need. And we could say the government in the NDP government really do a lot. Because I could say in Coconut Rain down, they really develop a lot. Road, water, light, everything. And it's through the NDP government why we gain these things.
I've been living in this area for over 39 years. And there are a lot of improvements I've seen so far. Like the Kingston Preparatory School, that was a board school, which I went to. It's now upgraded. You have the C.W. Prescott School that's been built under the NDP government. The Richmond Hill Government School has been repaired. Also at the Girls High School, there's a science lab. Another institution in the East Kingston area, I've noticed an upgradement in it. You have the roads, like the Morris Road, Kingston Hill, King Garden, Sindel intersection. All of these things has been done under the NDP government.
Everywhere you go, in every village and in every community, the NDP has refined our precious nation by building and improving roads, bringing water to the thirsty, electrifying the homes of many, and throwing light on otherwise dark places. All the basics that we need to prosper and grow.
To be alive and young in St. Vincent.
The NDP has provided hard courts and sporting facilities in almost every community so that our young people could play and develop themselves physically. The NDP gave young people the right to vote. The NDP has increased the percentage of trained teachers from 25 to over 60.
New opportunities now in the information age, and knowledge is the key. The NDP government has put the basic building blocks in place with new primary and secondary schools and a community college. We have provided scholarships and supported students at university. Teacher training is now expanded and reorganized. Our textbook loan scheme makes learning more affordable. Knowledge is a key weapon as we battle for survival in the information age. Turn the key. Help the NDP to educate this nation.
The NDP introduced an adult education unit to ensure lifelong learning and development for all Vincentians. Refinements in agriculture came via tissue culture and the introduction of irrigation to more than 1,400 acres of land under banana cultivation.
Before the irrigation program has come into Langley Park and Roboca Farms, soon after the dry period, everybody in Langley Park used to have to replant their bananas every year, religiously every year. Nowadays, you have banana all through the year. You do not have, you replant when you want to replant now. You do not have to wait until after the dry weather. And it has boosted the production so much that the government sees fit to build a new modernized boxing plant at Langley Park to accommodate the bananas that is coming from Langley Park. And that is through the irrigation program that the government have introduced here.
Traditional agricultural products like bananas still provide income, but in today's world, they can no longer be the mainstay of our economy. We are training our young farmers to compete in a globalized world. We seek to change and improve the quality and scope of employment in the agricultural sector so that our young people get paid for work that engages more brain than brawn. Agriculture is now a different kind of business.
I am 80 years of age and I am selling in the market for 60 years now. I go when I'm 20. I have it hard in the days. Kingston was like a toilet in my days. Used to pay penny and halfpenny on the ground. And all now, I am very pleased and glad how the market come. Kingston like a paradise to me now.
Today, she and other vendors enjoy a new ultra-modern market. The NDP amended the constitution to give Vincentian women equal status with their men, established a Department of Women's Affairs, made it legal for female teachers to get maternity leave.
The NDP recognizes that women have a key role in building our society. That's why we have always focused on new avenues to help women succeed. The NDP battle to remove all forms of discrimination against women, unlock the doors to credit, land, housing, higher education, and training for women. The NDP recommits to working with all our sisters on the noble task of building our nation. The NDP is the key in your hands, sister. Let's open the way and build together.
The figures show that tourism grew by more than 9% in 1999, generating gross earnings in excess of $207 million EC dollars. The ferry, the cruise ship berth, and the rehabilitation of Canouan Airport all contributed to this rapid expansion in tourism, clearly demonstrating that the NDP's competent management of the economy is already yielding good results through the tourism sector. Turn the key to our brighter future. Help the NDP to strengthen the economy.
Primary health care in St. Vincent and the Grenadines has improved with the increased number of health centers in rural areas.
The NDP government have done quite a lot. If you look at the new Kingston General Hospital, the addition of the new Kingston General Hospital now, you would notice the vast difference there. Everything is in order, and patients go and come, and you have so much doctors on call. First time you never used to have doctors, you have to go and get the doctors, call them out of the house to come, and now you have the doctors on call. When you go, the doctors are right there, and you get your health service in a good way now.
The Milton Cato Memorial Hospital has been upgraded with a new 3-story block, new theaters, a new accident and emergency wing, and new labs. Solid waste management in the country has been improved with the partial closure of the Arnhim dump site and the construction of a sanitary landfill site at Diamond.
To change usually means facing the unknown, but for us to grow, we must change. The NDP embraces change as the way to transform our country. We have revised our leadership team so as to adjust our service to you. Innovations in tourism and agriculture have kept the economy stable. As we adapt to this new millennium, we must revolutionize our minds and lives and alter our very self-image. Change we must, change we will. The NDP leading change.
The NDP began with the basics and worked hard to refine and transform our precious country, our precious people, into the jewel that is St. Vincent and the Grenadines. You trusted the NDP to protect and develop our jewel over the years, and our nation has grown in value and worth. Today, St. Vincent and the Grenadines stands proudly in this Caribbean chain. With time, the NDP will do even more to refine our precious jewel. You hold the key to the future prosperity of our great nation.
Turn the key.
To secure the future of our treasure in the stable and capable hands of the new Democratic Party.
Who's the party of the future? If you know, say NDP. Who make the nation prosper? Show me your voting finger, say NDP. If Arnhim Eustace is your leader, shout it louder, NDP. If you want change, look no further. Dip your finger up, NDP. The new Democratic Party, forging ahead to improve the country, reaching every aspect of society, influencing with positivity, with a leader who have a vision of a brighter future for the nation. Born to the middle age, down to the youth. When you vote, vote for the party of truth. And we say it, who's the party of the future? If you know, say NDP. Who make the nation prosper? Show me your voting finger, say NDP. If Arnhim Eustace is your leader, shout it louder, NDP. If you want change, look no further. If you know, say NDP. Vote NDP. 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 NDP.
Arnhim Eustace in the lead. We're getting what we need. All through the people dream. Back the victory team.
When we're choosing somebody to lead this country, we need a man that we could trust to handle our business with care and love.
It takes a special kind of leader to create a kinder, gentler society. This is a portrait of our leader, the Arnhim Eustace story. Who is this man, Arnhim Eustace?
Well, I grew up in the village of Edinburgh, just outside Kingston. As a young man, apart from school, I spent a great deal of time fishing. That was my main sport, my main hobby. As a result of that, have a lot of friends in that village up to today. I spent also a lot of time playing cricket. As a matter of fact, they nicknamed me Ted Dexter. I was very strong and driving on the offside. So those cricket and fishing were my main hobbies. I still have a boat, still have a fishing boat, but I hardly use it now. My heroes, when I was young, had to do really with my head teachers. There was a Mr. Saunders, who passed away recently, and Mr. Hercules, who still lives at Prospect, not too far from me, as a matter of fact. I think they played a great role in the shaping of my life. Of course, I have a great respect and love for my late parents, my father being a businessman and my mother a teacher. And of course, with their religious background, I had a relatively strict upbringing. I must say I got licks very often. I wouldn't say I was a bad boy.
What about this man qualifies him to lead Vincentians?
I have bachelor's and master's degrees in development economics. I joined the public service a few weeks after graduation. And in the 7-year period between 1970 and 77, I moved from an administrative cadet up to the level of permanent secretary in the public service. After that, I resigned on a matter of principle because I was asked to withdraw a case against a business house here that is violating the price control regulations. And I tendered my resignation because they wanted me to drop the case against that firm, and I was not prepared to do that. I then applied to several institutions, including CARICOM, the OECS Secretariat, and the Caribbean Development Bank. And I was accepted by all three. And I chose to join the bank. During that time, 1977 onwards, I moved in the bank from an administrative officer right up to the level of director of projects, which is the third highest position in the bank, and in fact the most senior directorship in the bank. I had a staff of about 75 persons under me, and we had the responsibility for preparing, negotiating the projects with all the countries in the region. And when I left the bank, we were doing on average about $120 million in projects per year. And that was my prime responsibility at the bank. That allowed me to interact with international institutions, the World Bank, the IMF, Inter-American Development Bank, European Investment Bank, and others, not only in terms of projects, but also in terms of negotiating funding for the bank itself from those institutions. And that experience has served me very well. It is an experience that anyone who is leading this country in the present economic environment needs to have. We will never have sufficient savings in our country to allow us to do all the things that we need to do for our development. And therefore we must interact with institutions, and we must interact with foreigners in terms of investment.
Eustace is a solid and stable leader, strengthened by a solid and stable family life.
Well, I'm married now for 25 years. My wife's name is Jennifer. She is from New Grounds, here in St. Vincent, the Grenadines. I have 2 children, 1 boy and 1 girl. Both of them now at university in the United States. We are a close family. That is part of my upbringing. And I really insist that whatever they cost, they have to be home for Christmas. That is the best time of the year as far as I'm concerned. And I ensure that whatever they cost, they have to be here. We are very close-knit, and I speak to my children at least a minimum of once per week while they're abroad.
I want to bring to the platform my right hand. This is my right hand. This is my wife, Jennifer.
I met him about 1969 when I was about to go off to university, and he had just returned from university in Canada. He was a very attractive young man. It was the first time I was seeing a young, bald man.
I bring her to you for a particular reason. She has been my wife for the last 25 years. 25 years. The NDP is 25 years old. And just as we have a stable marriage, the NDP is a stable party. And what is more, the NDP has made this country stable, politically stable. And because I'm married to her for 25 years, I am saying to you that I know how to keep things stable. I know how to keep things stable.
The roaring 70s were upon us, and all the new political ideas and so on were now coming into the region. And I was excited by that, by hearing him expound about that in the educational forum of the people. It was really a time of heightened political activity. Things just happened that seemed to fall into place. I think we were of one mind. We had the same interests. It was a time when when we were focusing on Africa a great deal. So we had common interests and we did things together. And I think that helped in the cementing of the relationship. We went all over the place together. We liked going into the hills, the streams and the bushes of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, We did all the things that a couple of our age would have done at that time.
And how does our leader spend his quiet moments?
I read. I try wherever possible, they say, to relax. Sometimes I spend a lot of time with my garden. People don't believe that, but I like a lot of flowers around me. And both my wife and I, we spend a lot of time on that. And perhaps right now that is my best form of relaxation. I have a few friends who I meet with on Saturdays down at the beach where there's some local food served, and I look forward to that every Saturday.
We talk a great deal. We chat, and we lime at home. In particular, we have what is called the Parliament of the Mango Tree. This is this huge mango tree we have in the backyard. And some friends come by. We like to cook under the mango tree. Our specialty is goat water. And we lime and eat under the mango tree.
When you are the leader, there is always criticism.
The strongest criticisms probably has to do with my style. Some people feel that I'm too serious. I don't think so. I think my job is a serious job. But I get very concerned about decision making. I get very concerned that whatever I do has an impact on people. I'm not given to glamorous things. I believe in a very practical approach to dealing with issues. Also, I believe in an all-inclusive approach where there's much greater consultation. And this tends to make you take decisions more carefully. It may take a little longer, but I believe you will get better results in the end. This tendency to having all power and all decision-making concentrated in an individual is not a good one. And you see manifestations of that in our society. I will not be going on that road. I must take an inclusive approach. And that is my style. And because of that, there's less concentration on me as the individual and more on the whole government, including the public service. So that's not a style that endears itself to people in a political season. You know, it's not a style, you know. People like to see you out there making a lot of noise and so on, but noise is one thing, results is another.
And I am sending a message to Ralph.
In this heated political season, how does Eustace feel about his main political opponent?
Well, that is a one-man band. That is how I see it. One just has to look at the kind of posters that are now being placed on the streets, his whole approach and attitude to matters in his party. One just has to look at the cancellation of the debates between the constituencies as requested by the National Youth Council. And you will see that he has an approach which says that I am the man in charge. What I say is what should go.
I make a solemn vow to you today that myself as leader and the rest of the deputy team will rebuild the stability in this country and carry this country forward to prosperity.
Apart from trust, what are the issues in this election?
The main issues to me are education, infrastructure development, and the orientation of our country to the recognition that we live in a new kind of world and that we have to restructure our economy in order to meet the challenges arising out of that new environment. If we can get home to our people that we need to recognize that and change our attitudes, then the whole campaign would have been worth it. Too many people still take it too easy. Too many people still believe that somehow everything will come right one day. But we need to take an attitude. We need to recognize very, very clearly that the problems we have with bananas will affect us in other sectors if we are not competitive. If we are to be competitive, then our work attitudes have to change. The technology we use has to change. Our education has to change. And these are very serious matters. And unless our population becomes well sensitized to those, we'll be left behind. You know? And I believe that more than anything else is very important as an issue in this campaign.
What are some of the challenges that Arnhim Eustace must face as a leader?
What I do know is that when one recognizes the responsibility that you have for a country, it is an awesome responsibility. And it is something that one has to take absolutely seriously. People's lives depend on your decisions and on your actions. And perhaps that is the challenge. The desire to do right by our people.
And what should motivate Vince's behavior this election season?
Be quiet, Christian people. That's the way we were brought up. Let us stay that way.
We should ensure that this country does not descend into violence during this election campaign. We cannot afford that.
Arnhim Eustace is the right man to continue leading this country forward in this time of change. And the change that he would like to see most in his people?
The reorientation of our attitudes in terms of what is needed for the new economy. And in addition, to get our people to be more concerned about one another. That is what I mean when I refer to a kinder and a gentler society.